So now that's exactly where it's always analytics. From my experience, it's always a mixture of statistics coupled with domain knowledge, which is a mixture of art and science. So marketing mix models, pricing models, Bayesian networks, all these are few terminologies used to answer your effectiveness of sales, whether it is awareness of your particular brand, whether it is your brand equity based on survey analysis or tracker, and these are all the different data sets that are available in some form or the other. It could be Excel, it could be unstructured, it could be structured, etc. So again, going into a detail of this case study, so typically first aspect of it is how do you define your strategic segments? So what is the business context? How do I enhance my customer shopping experience? Which trips give me the highest ROI? Now, it's a different way of viewing what kind of strategy they might be landing at. There are different trips that we have come up with, which is grocery refill. How many times do we actually plan and go to a store to fill our grocery? How many times do we go and buy something from, let's say, Dunkin' Donuts or Coffee Day and just take it on the run? So there are a lot of customers who actually do that. So these are the different strategic segments which we can define using this particular approach. Now, how this helps the organizations? It just helps them scale up their trip economies. What is the business impact? Data-driven approach to identify customer needs and wants. How does this help if I want to start up a new store, or if I want to customize my assortment of products on the shelf? I look at all these things and I make my customers' purchase behavior, purchase cycle easier by stocking those products that he buys commonly in the right place. The second one is propensity analysis, which is nothing but your customer acquisition. What are the factors I need to use, or what are the factors that drive customers to my store? Is it they like the lighting in the store? They like the employee, they like the staff who help us around. They like the assortment of products. They like the number of choices you have on each stock, etc. And if I understand those factors, then can I use those factors and target other customers and make them my customers? That's what we mean by propensity analysis. Yeah, so like I said, see, if you look at it, it's POS data, demographics data. So POS is by default, everybody collects it in some form or the other. So demographics is something which the customers, only if you sign up, you get that. So when they sign up, they get periodically that service. You know, why do you buy from my store? It comes with a very specifically defined survey. So attitudes or factors that attract or detract you from buying from my store. So I typically go and buy from store A, but don't go and buy from store B. So they ask a customer all these questions, and that gets analyzed to understand what is the propensity that they can buy from my store. Again, so you look at it, households purchasing frequently versus households not purchasing frequently. Now this can go from SKU 1 to SKU n, which is starting from SKU till the entire category. It can be done on categories which are fast moving, which is as good as soups, which you almost buy every day. So, but you don't need to buy it from the same store, you can buy it from different stores. Now, everywhere there is competition. So this helps organizations understand what attracts customers to my store. Again, this we spoke about, so attribution analysis is gaining prominence. This is being used in Google Analytics a lot, but there is much more to it. And there is a proprietary solution which we have developed, which can actually predict what drives customers' purchase, whether it is direct, whether it is indirect. When I say direct versus indirect, what I mean is, I ask the question, you know, I'm watching IPL or I'm watching World Cup. There are a lot of ads, but does that drive me to the store? No, but then at least it creates awareness for me, awareness in me to be able to go and purchase that product based on my remembrance. But if I go to the store, let's say there is some kind of a promotion and I buy that. So now does it mean that 100% of the sales has to be attributed to the promotion within the store? No, not necessary, right? Because I saw the media ad, I remembered it, and one fine day I just went into the store wanting to buy something else. I saw this product on promotion and I bought it. If you look at your online purchases, you land up into that website or web page for searching for something else. But you actually end up buying that, and then they attribute it to the last click sometimes. They run some kind of predictive models to be able to visualize or analyze what is driving your purchase in that website. So, but in Google Analytics and most of the solutions existing in the market today tell you what is direct. Nobody is able to answer what is indirect so straightforward, because it's a highly complex algorithm that runs. Again, an analytical solution deployment, like everybody said, unless an organization is able to use the insights coming out of the analytical solution, it's as good as it's a PowerPoint deck which is going to be thrown inside your dustbin. Now, this is exactly why a lot of consulting companies are actually gearing up to be able to tell the clients what is the kind of solution they are implementing and not presenting a black box solution, whether you take it or leave it. Everybody wants to be empowered, they want to validate it. Somebody said, one interesting comment was, we all present analytical insights based on our approach, statistical approaches to the client, but do we really know what they are doing with it? Now what is happening is, they are actually trying to track it month on month or week on week and comparing what you have predicted versus what they are actually seeing in the market. And if there is a gap, why there is a gap. So an analyst's life is not easy if the forecast just keeps on throwing more errors month on month. So again, so that also is a customer experience management, which is today you said this customer belongs to segment A, tomorrow your model is telling that he is migrated to segment B. Unless there are strong reasons, your model is a default model. Again, a single use case. Probably happening pretty commonly sometimes. Discovered that he has been overcharged on his postpaid bill only when the amount got debited from his bill. He had returned to the customer service and got no response. He's a high value customer and his churn risk score is currently medium. Is trying to get to the contact center agent, so customer experience mandate. So this is exactly one of the use cases which organizations might want to try and address if this is actually giving them a higher risk of churning of their customers. And a model that can be based on past calling history, complaint status. So this is where your predictive modeling piece comes into picture. You build a model based on past data, but if this case has not occurred in the past, what do I do? I can't predict that case because predictive models are all based on historical analysis. Ensure that such instances are specially routed directly to the agent. Now, this is exactly where customer experience management comes into picture to make the end customer's life much more easier, especially when he calls up for a specific reason. So now, once you have built this model, the first stage, as soon as this customer calls up, it just pops up into the system saying he's a high value customer. The moment that happens, his call does not go through the entire IVR, it gets passed on to a high profile agent who answers his query at the earliest. Now that is where the customer gets delighted and ensures that he is getting a better service and value for what he is investing in. So this is one of the use case. The churn score is automatically updated with the complaint coming. So his churn score is updated. So automatically if the complaint has come, his churn score does not remain medium, so that it is not in silos. It is all getting integrated into one. So it's finally a single view that you get. What are the key challenges of CEM? Organizations need to bring many teams together to improve a single process. A marketing cannot function in silo. A supply chain cannot function in silo when it comes to end customers working. So today's buzzword, if you read about the latest trends in analytics, it's all about centralization of analytics. Now, how do you define centralization of analytics? It is not having a single database with every possible information under the sun. It's every department is viewing the information in the same format, same structure, and ensuring that they get access to the same information at any given point in time. Now, that's what we mean by centralization of analytics. Some organizations which are trying to, which have already matured, are digesting it. One organization that I can name in this case, which is already implemented centralization, is Best Buy. Dealing with attitudinal change in the organization, which does not happen instantly. Again, you are coming and telling me something which is black box. I don't understand what attribution models are. How do I implement it in my decision making? So now that gap still exists. You have to make sure that you speak the current client's language and ensure that he is able to understand the value of the solution that is being provided to him. Measuring benefits like revenue impact from CEM can be difficult. Again, how many use cases will you solve? There are millions and millions of customers who keep calling up, who keep asking for help, etc. So what are the use cases which you will prioritize and try to address? That becomes a challenge, because to monetize that in just 1 year or 2 years does not sound very reasonable. It takes a long time, and it's a journey which organizations will have to try and adapt if they have to reach the end goal of making your customers' life as delightful as possible. Any questions on this? I think I finished much before time. Anything which is non-technology or it is absolutely. See, again, and the answer to your question, like he pointed out, technical terms, it's causality versus correlation. So there is a correlation between your color of your shirt versus your height. But does height cause color of the shirts to be bright, or does brighter color of the shirts cause your height? So that is something where you have to build a predictive model. But again, from my experience, a predictive model is as simple as garbage in, garbage out. If you knew the domain very well, then first thing is, if you are measuring a height, you will first figure out from the data. Just because height is there, I won't use height in the model from your understanding. But nonetheless, you think that height is correct, and brighter color shirts actually impact. Now, again, so statistics, somebody says very beautifully, it's damn lies, right? You always say it only with 90% confidence, 95% confidence. Can you confidently go and tell the client this is actually true? So, a lot of analysts, they take it very conservatively. And the consumer insights teams or marketing teams which actually implement these results, if they think it does not make sense, it's going to create a hue and cry in the organization, they shelve it. It's in our experience, sometimes it is 50-50, sometimes it is 60-40, sometimes it is 100-0. That's the reason why, unless your algorithms are machine learning algorithms, which is everything is deciphered using the data, productization of analytics is not very easy, because there is a huge element of manual intervention required to be able to analyze those results and provide recommendations. And that's exactly where all your consulting companies are still surviving and providing valuable insights, just because everything is not productization. A product can tell you what is there, brilliant algorithms, efficient processing, etc. But at the end of the day, it has to make value sense for the organization. So it changes. And that's how we make our business. You have to sign NDA is there, but data confidentiality is a huge cry. So they have firewalls in place, etc. Depending on what is the kind of data they're sharing. The first thing you have to do to be able to help them understand, take baby steps, is help them visualize their data, summarize it in a format that they can use and understand the insights that are coming out of it. See, advanced analytics comes at a later stage. Like you said, if the organization is at a stage where they just have tons of data but they don't know what to do with it, if I go and tell them about marketing mix models, attribution models, I'll just lose them. But if you tell them, you know what, give me this data, I'll help you summarize it so that you can run and get periodic insights, that starts inculcating the culture of analytics with that organization. So now slowly and steadily, now once you start drawing insights, then automatically there are some eye poppers which they would want to further analyze. Now that's when you start going a little deeper into the predictive space. Why is it happening? What has caused it? Etc. So now that is where the journey of analytics starts. This is okay. Again, so here your functional expertise comes into picture. So let's say you go to a retailer, or let's say you go to a telecom company. So churn is one of the biggest problems. If everybody, even if they do not know what analytics is, they'll know what churn is. So now in that standpoint, you tell them, maybe I'll try and help you understand what churn is. So you start off with a very small use case. Now, once they start understanding the value of that use case, you would have become familiar with their data and would generate tons of other business problems to help them grow. This is always going to be a challenge, which is if the you will come across these organizations, and we are actually working very hard with an organization which is 65-year-old company. 65-year-old company, the national leader. They have all the products under the sun. You name it, Oracle. You call IBM some specific products, but they don't know what each of the predictive analytics solutions will help them do. Because most of the decisions are being made using gut. But now times are changing, so organizations are slightly gearing up and a bit nervous. Whereas you might find some other guys who are in the very smaller range and would tell you that I am in green for the last 5 years, but still I want to practice analytics. It's because I do not know tomorrow whether I will be red. So it's a mixture. So again, provide the clients what they want rather than selling what we have. That's our simple policy. Whether they need visualization, wonderful. Whether they need just basic Excel reports, provide it to them. That's also analytics from my standpoint. Any other questions? Again, brilliant question. It is still heavily under research. If you look at it, they need to bring many teams together to improve a single process. Dealing with attitudinal change in the organization, which does not happen instantly. And the last and the most important point, measuring benefits like